What's up? What's up? This is the Stock Hustler Network, your fast pass through everything that moved the market this week. We have built a brutal Friday. It was brutal Friday sell off and jobs report that flipped the script. Got fresh earnings came in and a world update. Plus the drone and space plays. Everybody watching. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be watching at the end, and I'll show you the exact ORB setup. I trade and we can hustle. You get what I'm saying? So let's get this money. We're gonna go ahead and dive into it. A lot of news came out over the weekend. We had Israel strike the war. We got the market recap from falling down from all-time highs, and I know a lot of people are in a panic right now because 2% drop on Friday at the S&P 500. You got the biggest one-day drop since October. It was the first losing week in 10 weeks, like 9.5 weeks. NASDAQ fell 4.2%. That's big, man. That's the worst session since Liberation Day in April of 2025. So, man, I'm seeing a lot of buying opportunity, man, but a lot of people are seeing fear. You got the Dow down 1.45%, man. That was small caps down 3.5%. But if you zoom out, let me see, can I pull it up? If you zoom out now, definitely on the S&P. All right, now check me out. So now if you zoom out, you can see on the 6 month, we really ain't went nowhere. We still in the uptrend on the 6 month. Still up 7.5%. The overall market give you 7% per year. That's annual. 10% lately, but the average is 7%. So the S&P still in the bull run. We have to keep our heads on the swivel for that, because the market will try to shake you out and you end up losing fear because you got a good pullback, a healthy pullback. It could be healthy. It could be a continuation down further with the news over the weekend that we're going to get into in a minute. But zoom out and we can compare these things. Put the Dow up there. We can throw the NASDAQ up there. We can put the Russell. 6 months, they still, the Russell still at a 12% high. NASDAQ 100 still at a 12% high, almost 13%. Dow still up 6%, and S&P is still up. So we're still in an overall bull market. This is what you got to keep your heads on the swivel about, because the news will try to shake you out of your positions. They'll try to shake you out of your sizes, and by no means necessary is this any information for you to buy, hold, or sell any stocks. Everything on the Stock Hustler Network is educational purposes only. You should do your own due diligence and go do your research and make the educational decision for yourself. And if you can't do that, I advise you seek a financial advisor in your area so you can get the proper advice so you can make the best decision for your investments. But this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm teaching the NexGen community. So before we dive into it, let's just talk about NexGen and what we got going on. This video is brought to you by NexGen community. Over at the school community, we got classrooms, we got quizzes. We going live every 2 Sundays. Sometimes we go live during the week when my busy schedule can allow me to. You get my trades, you get my lessons, and you got 24-hour access. And all month of June, we're running a 7-day free trial over there. You also can come over there and learn how to trade options real simple. I have an options trading made simple course for beginners just like you, so you can just learn on your own time, dive in, and come assess the information and data and run the plays just like we do. So we finna just go ahead and get into the information right now. We got, why the sell-off on the good jobs report. Last video I covered, we was talking about the jobs report, and I said the jobs report would be key data coming into this week. Besides the Fed rate cut decision. So on top of that, we got jobs report on Friday. The jobs was good. U.S. payrolls rose 172,000 in May, much more than expected. Unemployment at 4.3%. So it was amazing. Great jobs. Non-foreign payroll jobs jumped seasonal. We got a slightly revised uplift for 179 in April and far above the Dow Jones consensus of the 80,000. The employment rate held steady, 4.3%. So the economy is doing good. People got jobs out here. Money is being made still. You know what I'm saying? So this is key. Money still been made. Hourly raises rose 3.3%. So people got a few raises in the last fourth of the month, and we're up 3.4% over the past year. So the market, economy flowing. You get what I'm saying? So this is very, 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 very good going into the rate cut when you look at the data. The good news and the bad news, you got hot labor though. The market means that the Fed has less reason to cut. Bond yields jump. You get what I'm saying? So that's a high valuation in the text reprice. Like that pulled the market back. Also, when bonds go up, the market tend to go down. You got Lear in the A1 trade reset, Broadcom below, and you got a board risk off day. So the key takeaways on the trades and expressions and not headlines that's exactly why we look at the chart for confirmations. That's why we always keep our heads on. So it's so much news going on. The market may not know what it's pricing in. Hey, who knows? There's so much data just flowing around right now at one time. So the market may just can't take all of that and tends to pull back so it can get a healthy look at forward. What's the real reason between all the noise? You get what I'm saying? If that makes sense to everybody. So we got the Fed calendar coming up. We got rate cuts. If you don't know, we got rate cuts coming up in June. It's already June 17th. We got rate cuts coming up. The range between the cut 3.5, 3.75 that we at right now at the rate. The decision is Wednesday, June 17th at 2 p.m. Plus the dot plot. First meeting of the chair watch. He will be talking about his minutes, what he talked about behind closed doors. That be get to check people to a chance to ask some questions. So that's great. That's great. His minutes from that meeting will be released in July 8th. I'm sorry about that. So we got coaching point, expect fireworks at 2 p.m. on the 17th. Beginners are often better sitting out the decision. Like, don't try to trade the rate cut decision, bro. If you new and like you don't really know what you're doing, don't trade on that day. Like, just sit out, watch how the market fluctuate, let it give you a chance and let it give you a direction where you feel comfortable with trading and getting in and buying something. You know what I'm saying? Earnings also, man, you had Broadcom and CrowdStrike. They came in, beat wasn't good enough. You get what I'm saying? So Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, earnings came in 2.4%. They beat 2.40 percent a share, $2.40 a share, and the revenue increased 22.19 billion. So that's 48% increase year over year on AI and 10.5 billion on more than doubled. So the AI revenue is definitely bringing in good money. Next quarter they got it for 29.4 billion. It was actually above their estimate. So why the 12%, 15% pullback? Hey, who knows? The Q3 AI chip forecast 16 billion, missed the 17.2 billion hope. So what they're saying is when the data came in for Q2 earnings coming around August, it started at the end of July, coming in between July, August, and September. They basically saying that AI is not forecast to make as much as it's been making the past quarters because they got to spend more into investing and building out their full infrastructure. That's why you see a lot of if you look at the data, it's a lot of insiders who are selling shares right now, and they these big companies are liquidating and diluting their shares so they can have that capital and that money to invest so they can grow and go bigger. So they're letting us know they don't have that cash on hand. So that's very, very good. You get what I'm saying? So the price for protection is just good. Get so worth the name, but hey, we're just gonna keep our eyes on it while pulling down. We could probably get that good price where we needed it, and we can start buying because it is a good company. And like they just said, they are making money, and they expected to keep making more money. Got CrowdStrike too that came in. We had talked about it. That was like the last good earnings report that came in. It had a clean quarter with a split. The revenue 1.39 billion, record Q1. April was like 56 million. That's 30% record for year over year. Right, they raised their guidance up, so they've been making some money. CrowdStrike been making some big news. But what it was, they announced the 4-for-1 stock split, and once they announced that during their guidance report, oh my God, it sold off. The split adjusted trading begins July 2nd. A split doesn't change the value, just more shares at a lower price. Often a guidance signal. You get what I'm saying? So that's what's going on with those two big name AI techs. But we got a war update right now. Iran strikes Israel, and the Korean market started to plunge 8%. And this happened like just recently tonight. Yeah, bro, this is crazy. So you got US stock futures just came down. So the market is pulling back. Let me pull it up. Market is pulling back. Market is pulling back. You got US stock futures fall as Iran attacks Israel. South Korean stock market plunge 8%. So geopolitical's in front and center, and it's moving. The oil, defense, safe havens, and quick sober updates. Real people are getting hurt here. So we're just gonna keep it real factual. We just can't just ignore the fact. 2026 Iran war began February 28th. The joint U.S. Israel strikes on Iran after nuclear talks collapsed. State goal was ending the Iran nuclear program, and Iran ain't going for that. Iran retaliation on Israel repeated missile and drone strikes. Per public tallies, roughly 28 killed and thousands injured in Israel since the war began. The deadliest signal strike hit the residential neighborhood was in Belt Shemesh on March 1st. So the war is in full on effect right now. It's in full blown effect. This week, Israel military reported fresh missiles fired from Iran today. The U.S. shot down Iranian drones and missiles aimed at the Strait of Hormuz and the Gulf allies. In the Strait, and it struck Iranian coastal radar sites. And this was happened Friday. So this has been going on all weekend. So tensions have gotten seriously high. You got Lebanon over in Lebanon, Israel. His I can't pronounce this, so if I butcher it, forgive me. Hezbollah fighting intensified despite a ceasefire. 21 was killed in South Lebanon on Friday because of this, and the talks are deadlocked over the weekend. 24 billion frozen Iranian assets, and Pakistan mediating Trump with June 7th. They hinted a deal could advance soon. And we know how this going right now. He was talking about going into a deal over the weekend, and now they fighting, you know. And why traders should care about this is because it disrupt Middle East flights, shipping routes around the Strait of Hormuz, the Red Sea attacks, oil infrastructure, and oil volatility mess up the market. Oil strike, oil go up, the market go down. And you got defense names that probably, we can make some money with. Perfect setups we can get into. The fragile ceasefire in jeopardy as Iran reported fires missiles at Israel. Iran has reportedly fired missiles at Israel, and the tense ceasefire between Washington and Tehran hangs in the balance. The missile fire that came from Iran after the Iranian preliminary spoke on X. He said naval blockade and violations of agreements regarding Lebanon, amount of violations of the ceasefire. So that's the reason they sent the missiles, because U.S. was still using the blockade to keep them from getting their ships through, and any other ships that Iran possibly had. The fragile ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran has been in place since April. They've been firing shots low key back and forth. And honestly, the market been fearful because of that. The market been fearful because of that. If you look at that fear and greed index, it's at 42 right now. Not too bad, but this is where it's sitting at right now as coordinates today as we just Sunday night before market open. You got the Bitcoin fear and greed index is at extreme fear. I think Bitcoin can go a little lower than 60,000. I can see 57, 56. I don't, if it do hit 55, it'll stay there. I don't think it'll break 55, but hey, I'm buying anything right now below below 70, below 75. I'm buying it. Yeah, I'm eating Bitcoin up right now, and it's not no information for you to buy, hold, or sell. Again, this is what I'm doing. Um, you use your risk for your risk tolerance. So you got to do that, man. Bitcoin is like crashing. Bitcoin crashing, bro, and it's getting uglier. So a few drone plays we can look at though while the war still escalating. You know, we got the war plus the defense. You got the drone. You got the trade. You got here's the watch list. The catalyst for Trump, the golden drone. He just gave us the play 2 weeks ago. Per plays I'm looking at is AVAV. Looking at AVAV. I like Red Cat. We played SQQ. We played SQQ on Friday, man. Instead of playing puts, we played SQQ. And she went crazy, bro. She went crazy, man. Man, you can really get these alerts. 7-day free trial. And NexGen traders, if you're ready to learn, come earn. So we're gonna look at AVAV day chart. And you look at this day chart, it fell from a critical level. So what I'm gonna do is, as I'm looking at this, I want to know where I can get back in at from the daily level at a fair value. So I'm gonna throw the automatic fib on there. Is it gonna pop up? I want to see how low we can go. And I'm gonna zoom in. And I'm gonna see where we at on the retracement level. This is the daily. So the retracement level on the AFV is touching the 20 MA. That'll be that white line. We got the 50 MA coming crossing in. So what I see is a bullish 20 MA crossing up over the 50. If we can get a green counter for tomorrow over this zone right here. If we can open up tomorrow on AVA over 199 and kind of hold in that level, it ain't even got to go crazy. But if it can kind of hold in that level and break over, we could see possibly the cross up of the 20 and the 50 to see another move back up with that gap just got filled. Start slowly filling that gap up. That's what I see on AVAV. I definitely look. It's trading on the daily inside of the 50. I like to see it close in this range, not below this green line. If it close below this green line, she bears and she going down. If it close above, we can see a good consolidation in the area or a good another push back up. So we're gonna then go check the 4 hour And 4 hour, we kind of see the same thing. We need to see boom, 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 boom. We need to get ready to come up over this 198 range. If I could see this, that'll confirm for me, and I'll buy so we can still go back up to that 215, 220. But as we watch this, we want to pay attention to the word catalyst. You know what I'm saying? NVDA is the blue chip play when you're talking about drones. Analysts target this thing at 318. You know, some moderate buy. But like KOTS also. So I'm not gonna pull all these up on the chart for you, but I'm gonna let you know how this is how I kind of analyze my plays for the group. And next gen traders, we break these things down so you can really learn and understand. Um, so we'll be here all night if I do that. And I know you guys would love it, but come get the 7-day free trial and come learn how to really chart up and find some plays with these catalysts. So we win in the school community all the time. So we also watching KOTS. That's the Valkyr drone. So we're gonna keep our eye on that. We keep an eye on Red Cat. That's a spectacle tactical drone story. So you gotta kind of play it with ease. But it definitely risk reward a play. On DS, I like it. That's the autonomous comms and border security play. So we're gonna keep our eyes on that, and we watching DPRO Dragonfly. That's the micro cap lottery ticket, and we're gonna treat this like one. So we ain't gonna go too big on it, but we're gonna buy our levels when we see them coming in. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not telling you to buy, hold, or sell, but this is how I'm playing the catalyst and how I'm playing the new news from the Iran Israel war escalating. We got SpaceX coming up on December 12th. I mean on January 12th, excuse me. June 12th, excuse me. Long day, guys. And the space trade is its own muscle right now, driven by one word, SpaceX. So what we doing in next gen trade is we positioning ourselves now, and so we can go ahead and get a good position for the run up. Can these players go down a little lower? They down 15%, 20% in the last few days from the recent pullbacks, and they're down hard. They're down hard from the recent highs. Um, and yeah, can we still take advantage of them? Yeah, because they can run faster and run back up. They can go down 20% and run back up 20% in the same day. We all done seen RKLB do that. RKL is the closest public SpaceX competitor, up 440% in a year. The big golden dome missile warning trade, neutron rocket Madden. So they got that coming up this year, and it's a pullback hard recently from inside and the trimming at the top. They like to get their shares off. They're trying to buy. They're trying to get their expensive shares off before they pull the market down, so they can buy cheap again. And when SpaceX do its thing, they can just come on back in like good folks and use that money that they just got to make some more money. ASTS, that's the direct to phone satellite broadband, up 200% in a year. Super volatile. The next catalyst is launching the Bluebird 8, 9, and 10 in mid-June. I love to see that. I can't wait till they come out. I want to see how they did. The last rocket ship they shot off didn't really go too good, but need fortified sats for the continuous U.S. coverage. So they're still growing and still sending satellites in space to increase the broadband for your cell phones. LUNR. I bought some LUNR when they fell down to $33. I'm buying some more LUNR because it's at $29. I like LUNR. It's a lagger for me. Always been behind the big names like RKLB and LTS, so we've been keeping an eye on this thing since. So she's just now starting to get her leg up, and I think when these things start to run back off, LUNR will catch up real fast. The logistics, the 2026 revenue guide of 900 million, a billion, 5 times trend. It's a buy on successful landings, trim on slippage. Also, the basket red wire. I think we all like Planet Labs and we like Echo Star, but we can get all these in the UFO ETF, and now we're actually buying into the UFO ETF in the NASA ETF right now in the NexGen community, because we can't buy all these individual plays. So we buy the good ones, we trade the good ones, and we buy the ETF, so we can still hold on to some of that for the long term, because these are future companies that's going to be big in the next 10 years. Got Bitcoin below 70K, man. Bitcoin below 70K. That's something we just talked about again. I'm eating it up. We're gonna get a little deeper into that on the next video. The mindset is like when extreme fear go on, gauges lead going to extreme fear. You gotta double down. You gotta know when to attack. You gotta know where to buy at, because when everybody's fearful, you gotta be greedy. Everybody fearful, you gotta be greedy. And that's pretty much it, man. I suggest everything I just walked you through the watch list, the live setups, the ORB breakdowns in real time. Well, I didn't give you the ORB breakdown, but we're gonna talk about that on the next one. Because the videos were going way too long. That's what we do every single day inside NexGen Traders, though. Again, man, come on over. NexGen Trader link will be in the top description. Join for free for 7 days. Come learn, come earn with us for 7 days. If you don't like it, cancel your subscription. If you do, continue to learn with us and let's get some money. Now, it's also be links for Moomoo, also be links for Robinhood. So if you don't have an account, you can also join an account. That's the rundown, the war, the market. Do your homework this week. Keep your eye on the drones, keep your eye on the space stocks, and I'm gonna try to come back in Wednesday and tap back in and let you guys know how the market been going and what type of plays we've been dropping. You know what I'm saying? So I bless you on this good Sunday, and I'm out. Peace, love, motivation plus dedication equals progression. Deuces.